I just posted content every single day for 30 days straight. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly what happened, including how I helped one of my clients hit her first 6.5K month ever, booked over 100 calls myself, and went from 0 to 4K in just 4 months. Plus, the biggest mistakes I see entrepreneurs make when growing their business. So, the 3 problems that most people face. The first one is they think their posts or their content needs to be perfect before hitting publish. And let me show you something that I have here. So these were, I did a challenge back in May, and you can see the dates here. And I have this post, which did, let's say, pretty well. This was the first week celebration and I was doing fine. But if you look at the next one, the gift says it all. It's like, I didn't make a lot of progress today. And not only that, but if you compare, I got 52 comments and people were like, yes, you're doing amazing. And then here, just 9. So it's, and this was just day 8. I was just getting started. I was doing this for the first time and I had no idea. I didn't know what I was doing. So just to show that whatever you do, that means you're making progress. Another problem that most people face is they think they need to have it all figured out before getting started. So what I did when I started my first challenge, 30-day challenge, was I had no idea what I was going to do. And the only way that I learned was by doing it, actually doing it. The third thing is they don't have systems in place to make posting easy. So once we figured the systems out, once we get started and we start establishing some systems, then we won't quit and it'll be a lot easier. So let me show you how I fixed those problems in 3 steps. The first one, and the most important one for me, and I think it'll work for a lot of other people too, is accountability. I made it public. I decided to post that I was going to do this for 30 days. I told people and I was like, okay, here it is. I created my first post and then everybody knew that I was doing it for 30 days straight. Then I removed decision fatigue, by using the same structure every single day. So that was my biggest problem before I started, because like writing content for me has been difficult because I wanted it to be perfect every single time. Like, I'm a copywriter. What are people going to think of me if one of my posts is not written well? But what I did was I solved that problem by using the same structure. So here you can see, this was the last post that I did when I finished my latest content challenge. And it actually did pretty well. I'm not saying that the more likes and comments you get, that's not the only metric that you should measure. But it's a good indication that you're doing things well and that people are following your story. And that's the other thing that I found out, like people connect with people and they love to follow stories. And the hardest one for me was deciding that I was going to be open about my struggles. So like I showed you in one of those previous posts, I decided, even if I don't make any progress today, then I'm going to write a post and I'm going to say, day 15, I didn't make a lot of progress today. Sorry, I feel horrible, or I have a plan for tomorrow, or whatever it is that I wanted to say. But being open is great, because then I found out that a lot of people actually go through the same struggles and they were able to relate to me because they read, oh, she woke up late today, or she spent the whole morning doing nothing. Well, that happened to me too this morning. So I don't feel as bad anymore because somebody else is going through the same thing. So I have a link here to the post template that you can copy and use for your own posts if you want to do a 30-day challenge. And if you want a copy of this Google Doc and learn more about writing content, growing your audience, or simply booking more calls, I'm going to share it in my free community. There's a link in the description below, so you can join. Okay, let's talk about the results. What happened after I did that? Well, one of my clients hit her first 6.5K month ever. So we've been working together for a couple months. And this month in August, I was doing a content challenge. And I wrote so much content for her. And we were posting everywhere. We were posting in her free community, in other school communities, on YouTube and other places as well. We went hard, and consistency, thanks to that, she hit her first 6.5K month. I also got over 100 calls booked in 30 days. My average number of calls per day was 3.4. How did this happen? There were days where I just had 1 or 2 calls. There were other days where I had 7. I'm counting my client calls as well here, discovery calls, sales calls, and all of that. But this is an indication that when people see what you're doing, they can relate to your story and they want to connect with you. I also went from 0 to 4K in 4 months. So back in April, I made $0 in an entire month. And that was something that hadn't happened to me in a long time. I made some couple stupid decisions in a couple months before that. And then that all led to this, but that was good in my case because it gave me no choice. So I had to commit to making this work. And then August, I think I made around 4K, which I think is great for an offer that's completely new. I have no audience, and I'm also getting better at what I'm doing. So I'm not an expert at this either. And the other thing is I also connected with people who already led to 3 potential partnerships. So I got a high ticket client in August. I continued working with another high ticket client that I had, and I already have other potential partnerships that might lead to good things in the future. So if you're a business owner currently making a couple thousand a month, but knowing that you're worth much more than that, I currently have only 1 spot open to work with me one-on-one as your copywriter to help you land high ticket clients. If you're curious, there's a link to apply in the description. And finally, let's talk about the lessons that I learned. So I used to be the type of person that was 100% sure that I needed to do everything perfect before I started. So I didn't want people to think that I made mistakes, that I had feelings, that I suffered, that I struggled, that I wasn't productive enough. I didn't want anybody to think that. And then once I started doing this, I realized that is impossible. That's just going to lead to burnout. Nobody can do that ever. So what I did was I learned that action beats anything. No matter how much you plan, no matter how much you prepare, how much you think about it, you can talk to ChatGPT for an entire week or month, planning on how you're going to do a 30-day challenge where you want to tackle something specific. Nothing's going to be taking action. So if you're thinking about starting a content challenge, sleep challenge, outreach challenge, whatever it is that you need to solve in your life, just start. That would be my biggest advice. The other one is, and this is related, because you learn by doing, not by planning. So that's the best way to learn. And I realized, like, the first time that I did the content challenge, I had 30 calls booked in the entire month. So 1 call per day. And this time around, over 100. So that also shows. And if we count the number of interactions that I got from people, the number of opportunities and the hours that I worked and all of that, everything improved. And the last thing that I learned is systems make your life way easier. So I created an accountability system because people, they were commenting like, oh, Olga's post just dropped and I was waiting for it. Or I just noticed that blah, blah, blah. So accountability was definitely there. The only way that I could do it, and I just created a very simple system, started posting about it. The other one was the post structure. So I had the same structure that you will see in the link, and that I used every single day. So I just had to fill it out. So one of those days, I just had 4 minutes to make the post because I needed to leave my house. And I did it in 4 minutes. There were others where I put a lot more work into it. And this last post that I showed you took me around 3 hours because I had to count my activities, the number of calls. I wrote like the number of comments per post, how many posts I did the entire month, and all of that. So it took a while. But I already had a system and I knew what I was doing, and that helped me stay consistent. And my biggest final lesson for you would be, is there anything that I can remove? Is there anything that I'm doing that's making it harder for me to hit my goals? So before you try to add anything, just remove. So that's what I wanted to share with you today. Thank you for watching.